Dave. Look out. All right, so I'm going to back up the truck. It has a backup camera which looks at the ball. It'll get us pretty close, and we'll back it up. Now, one of you guys like to take your hand at backing it up?
I guess.
All right.
Me.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
Keys in it.
Thanks.
Keys in it, and you get yourself familiar. Adjust the seat however you like. Just a little bit. A little more. Keep coming. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Forward
Go
about
forward
6 inches.
about 4 inches. Straighten up the wheel. There you go. That's good.
Whoa.
Yep. Hold it. Straighten the wheel and come directly back about 3 inches. Go slow. A little bit more. A little bit. Oh.
Whoa.
Go forward just a hair. Just a hair.
Good, good.
Whoa. Now back just a hair. No gas. Just take your foot off the brake. Okay. You're good. Whoa. Now, just a little off, but I think we can probably make that happen.
When you drop it, it's probably going to go.
Yeah,
right
if we
on top
just
of
put some effort, we can make that happen. So you got to have a pair of channel locks. I'll tell you why. This open part right here, you'll pinch the hell out of your fingers. So you just use this to close it, but you don't close it until it's over the ball. Okay, so right now the trailer is only supported by this guy. So one of you, you can come on this side and push a little bit that way as you guys crank this down. You get that thing right on there, okay? You guys gonna help out? You can pull it or push it. Wait a minute, before you drop it, you need somebody to put some pressure. No, not you, you're the cranker.
Matt's coming.
Come around this side, Dick.
I was going to pull.
Oh, you can pull, that's fine.
Matt's coming.
Pull, push, your choice. Just need to push it so that it lands right on the ball. Ariel's going to crank it. So just put some pressure on it as he cranks it down. There you go. Come on down. Come on down. It'll go on. It's heavy. Keep coming. All right.
On top of it.
Through there. We're just come on here. Crank. Go, go, go. You're good. You're good now. It's good. It's not coming off. Just keep cranking until it seats.
Would it help to spray a little oil on there?
You can. If you want a little grease, probably wouldn't hurt. There, see, it's going to center itself. Now, my suggestion is when you guys get to the field day site to cause less hassle is when you park it there, you just leave it all hooked up and then just level it out and use it that way. If you don't want to, it's fine. You just have to reverse this process.
You can get the antenna on the beam with it on the truck.
Yeah, probably. You'd have to crank it up a little bit. Put the beam here, maybe. You guys are ingenious. You can figure it out. Okay, so this has a plate now at the bottom, down here in the junk.
Is it spring loaded?
It is. And so you're off the ground now, and so we're on the ball. Okay? So before we take this off, here is the channel locks. You might want to get a bigger pair. You want to, why don't you come over here, Gary? So the way this thing works, I usually take a pair of channel locks and close it. Okay, you see how that worked? You close this, and then this is slid up on top. So you may need a couple of you.
That's where the grease is coming. It doesn't look like it's been personally lubricated or anything.
Right, probably, some kind of shot of something would be good.
WD-40
Right?
or something. Yeah, one set of channel locks on the top and one on the bottom.
Yeah, so you get it so that this pin is visible here. You guys
Right.
see that?
I can see the pin.
And here's your retainer. This goes in the hole, okay? And it hooks on the bottom. And what this does for you is it keeps the pin from coming out. Sure we're on there, looks like it. And you're good to go. Now that won't come off there. So now once that's attached properly, we'll need to raise this. Now, this is designed to crank up and down, and there is a, wherever it is, a stack of plates. Right. Oh, right here. Here's where the plates go. And I'm not sure where the other plates are. Oh, you know what? I bet you they're in here. This is a guy rope for that tower there. Okay, so here's antenna, some guy ropes, coax, and the plates. See, what happens is this last time this was disassembled, everybody's in such a hurry to go home. They just want to throw it all in the box. Well, these plates here ride here. It's hard to see with all this. So I'll tell you what we'll do is let's pull it out, but you got to raise this. So the thing is, there is a locking pin right here. And you pull this pin out, and you can just pull it and the plate will drop. So you can crank this up a little bit more. Okay, it's as high as it's going to go. You want to pull this, yep, pull it straight out. Okay, and then there's your plate. Take that plate off the ground. There's a handle right there. You see them on the ends? I would throw it on the ground to get the stuff off of it. You never know what's on it. Now this part is going to be, you got to watch it. See this here? This is what holds this bottom part down. One of them needs a spring, so I usually want to pull this out, spring loaded, and turn it. Now this comes up, okay? And this pin here holds it from rotating. So you pull that out and you rotate it. And you got to put it back in horizontally to keep it from falling off. Each one of these have a retainer with a pin. You put that on. Great. Well, first of all, before I rotate it, this needs to hold it. See, we opened it this way, it needs to go. This comes up, goes here, and this pin goes through here. And this keeps the handle on, okay? Then you rotate this. Can I have that pin? This pin goes here horizontally. And then you take the retainer, you stick it through the lock hole on the pin so you don't vibrate. Poor B was in there. Okay. And then this guy goes up here and you turn this back. And it locks it. There. Okay, so that's the storage position of the jack. Now this plate, these are hooked onto the truck. Same with this one. And if it's too long, you guys know what you do? You twist it. And it makes the chain shorter. Okay. And then of course there's lights. And then you've got this little guy. In case the ground doesn't work between the two, it's just a clip lead that hooks the trailer to the truck. Okay, I'm going to set that here for now. Alright, and then last but not least is the trailer plug. And that plugs into this guy. Okay. Any questions?
The plate goes on to here.
The plate goes on there. Now, let me just say, is that our antenna came up here, and maybe whoever put it together thought they didn't want the plate riding on there, on the antenna. So, and they put it in here. It doesn't really matter as long as we don't lose it. All right, Ariel, so if you do me a favor, why don't you take the truck slowly, go in a nice big arc, and then come up the hill and stop almost before you go out of the pasture, okay?
The trailer, while building the antenna, we have to level the trailer with the plate.
Yeah, that's right. And so that's the downside of this. We are clear. Dan, watch yourself. Yeah, straight out, nice big left-hand U-turn. This is step right on. It's called the big eye. No, it's actually 80. It has some foil. Good job.
At the Zoom meeting, the last thing you said was, don't forget about the strap on the end. What-
It's up
Yeah,
there.
so up here. So if you guys bash the cab, you guys gotta have good insurance.
What strap are we talking?
Other side of the post. Yeah, we'll show you. So for now, we can try disconnecting it, setting it up, reconnecting it, or we can just leave it connected. I parked it this way because it allows us just to raise the rear of it up. Okay. What would you like to do? Okay, so if you choose to leave it on the trailer, we'll set it up as if this is being supported by the front jack. Okay. Now the ball is pretty flexible. You can jack it up and move it around, and the ball should be good enough with the weight of the truck to have whatever level you want. Okay. So what's the decision, boys?
Leave it connected.
Leave it connected. Okay, so assuming it's connected, our next thing is to deploy these arms. Now everybody needs to come over here and look at these ratchets. These arms are 20-some feet long, and this is part of the stability of the trailer. So there's two things. They have a safety chain. You see this? This is in case this ratchet breaks. So both of them need to be connected. First thing to do is remove the safety. Don't forget to put the safety on, because if this thing swings open when you're driving, I'm not sure your insurance company will like you anymore. Okay? Next thing, the ratchet is holding this arm against here. So I'm going to take my watch off before I bust it.
Just hope there's nobody next to you when that happens.
We'll just hope that you go around it 3 times and make sure all the safeties are on it
Definitely.
before you move it. That's just a good thing. So this has a ratchet. See this handle here? There's a on the back like a trigger. So what you do, you tighten it till it clicks, then you let it out. Figured out how to do it. Oh no, sorry, there's a release on the back. You push this back towards the back underneath, and it loosens up the ratchet. Push it, and it loosens the ratchet. Okay? Then it's spring loaded like your seat belt. Okay, you want to make sure that ratchet's on. Safety off, ratchet off. This now moves. Now, where you got to watch though, on the back. In addition to those two safeties, you got this pin here. This is a mechanical stop. Now, you see it's in the hole? If you get 3 or 4 people setting this up, everybody's going to want to do everything. They're going to break it. If you guys break it, we're going to have to get it fixed. So what you want to do, if I would pull this now, what would happen to that pin?
The pin is here.
That is correct. So helper number 2 grabs that thing and pulls up on it. Just hold it up while I swing it. It's spring loaded. Okay?
Yep.
Now I'm starting. And once it's past the hole, you can let it go. Okay? Arm comes around. And it will be in the right position when that pin drops in that hole. You'll hear it. There it is. So that's your general position. Okay? Okay? And then there's that release tab in the back of that ratchet. No, it's way in the back. You see it? It's this right here. Right here, where my thumb is. You, let's see, push it to release it, and then pull it, like up, and then pull it, okay? And then you just spring load it, just let that go back in. Might have to pull it out a couple times. Okay, Matt's pulling the pin. Carefully move it.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose any fingers in all of this. Once you're past the hole, you can come around to its lock position.
Eric, watch out.
All right. So, next thing, we need those plates. Now, since we're not using a plate in the front, we have one plate already. We'll need to get the other one out of this box. If you carefully take this stuff and set it here, it's right in the bottom. Perfect.
We just need one.
Yes, sir. Because we're not going to use the front plate. Okay, so this right here releases the spring for the extension, okay? This isn't akin to the one we pulled out over there to allow it to retract that has a pin that goes into it. So before we go into that, I think the best way is to have 2 people pick up the plate and attach it while it's in the air. Because the weight of that plate, this is spring loaded. So pull the pin out of the thing first.
Oh,
Okay, and then 2 of you hold it and 1 of you plug that pin in.
Yep.
Okay, and then stick your safety on. Okay, now I would release the crank using that pin. You twist it. Just twist that baby, okay, and then I just get it out of the way. You just push this in and it'll kind of stay there. Okay, now take that curly cue and stay out from underneath and then push it down and the thing will drop. Okay, now it's spring loaded. Some of them are, some of them are not. So push down on it as far as it'll go and then pick that loop thing up. And now bring it up and it'll click in. Okay, you're good. All right, perfect. Okay, now it's crank job. Now, since we're downhill, we may end up having to put a block of wood on it, but let's just see.
Hello?
it's always good. 1 is working and 3 are watching.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just like the city. No, this may not be the best installation. See, now you want to do it until it just puts a little pressure on it for now, and that's good. Let's do the next one.
No, that's smaller.
Oh, maybe this is for that front one.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
you're
got it.
gonna have to get the other plate out of the deal. I thought they were all the same. Who knew?
A little higher. Yeah. Thank you.
Just push down the loop. Thanks. Push down the loop.
Have to push that down. Wait. Yep. Okay. Do I crank it down or you got?
Now stand by, Ariel. Up she goes. Dick want to see a block here, so we'll see what this looks like. Just in case there's a low spot. Kind of center it up. All right. Okay, so that's probably good. You want to tension these such that there's kind of levels up the thing. I don't think there's any ground where you guys are going that's this steep. So you won't need a whole lot. You probably won't need a block because it'll be more stable. The object is to keep the platform stable with these, okay? And you can crank them up until they're stiffer, right? But for our demo, we don't need that. Okay, so now, the next phase is to disconnect this up here. Okay, so one of you guys climb up there and pull that pin. Watch yourself. Okay, all right, and that can just hang for now. Okay, then the next thing is, once we're done that far, we'll need to remove this ratchet. Remember, this ratchet needs to be checked and double checked before you move it. Because if you don't put it on, when you stop, that goes through the cab. And it's expensive, so you got to make sure that that ratchet is on. So again, one of you guys climb up there. And then there's this right here in the back. You push backwards on it, there, and then, don't crank it, just there.
Okay.
Now it's loose, unhook it. And then this goes back in.
It's
Okay?
just like the other.
Just like the other ones. Okay. So we are ready to put the antenna on. Now there is a long pipe here. Somewhere right here, this camera one.
The one with this?
Yes, now you see the muffler clamp on it? You slide it in this way, and that acts as a bearing for the antenna. Now you can do one of two things. You can put the antenna on it, and then take it and slide it into the pipe. You can crank this out a little ways to clear the end of the tongue, and then, like what we did, there was 2 or 3 of us holding the Yagi. We had mounted that to the Yagi and we slipped it right on. So why don't you just slip it on the end to see how it goes. Watch your head. Go the other way, Matt. 180, yep, perfect. That goes all the way in. Just like that. And it rotates now on this clamp. So that's where our Armstrong rotor works. And then we clamp the Yagi here. Okay, and that's it. So now with that up, let's crank it vertical. We verify that our clamp is off in the middle, right? and we're clear to go. Here's the winch. So when you guys man this winch, handles here, and start cranking.
They're release or just
It's a friction, so you just turn it backwards to go the other way. Now, at any time, if you find binding or anything sounds weird, stop and check what you're doing, okay? Because something may be on a safety. There you go. Okay, here's the safety. Once it's up, you got to put this on. So every year. All right, so there you go. And then at this point, since you've already mounted the Yagi and whatever else you want up there, you stand up here and use the crank and crank it up. Now you don't need to go all the way to Mars cranking it. Crank it up reasonably. It'll stop when it gets to the end, but crank it up whatever you feel reasonable for your antenna.
we want to do that now?
If you'd like to, yeah, jump up there. And it's kind of hard to get up there, Ariel.
Should I go up the area? Yeah, go ahead.
You can use this to stand on, Matt, over here if you need to. Oh, look at that. We need 5 of those mats.
What's that show where you have to do all that junk to get through the maze?
That's correct. Yep, that's essentially the thing. You go up as high as you like. It goes 55 feet.
Wow.
But I'm pretty sure over 45 or 40 is probably fine. But you choose whatever you like to do. Right?
Is there a piece in your box? Is there a piece of rope for the to rotate?
Yes,
the
there's
yellow.
right there. That yellow rope is your Armstrong rotor.
Okay.
The gray sisal rope is for the guys for this other tower, the fill tower.
That's the one you lost out in the baseball field last year?
Yes, that's correct.
We're not planning on using that one.
Just go until it kind of
We
feels
actually
flat.
are, because we're gonna put the hex beam on it.
Keep going. Yep, there it is. And perfect, just like that.
And does that position matter?
Yeah, you can make it so it's closer to the, like that's fine. Yep.
It's
Yeah.
loose? That's
Yeah, or
fine.
you can go up another half turn. There you go, just like that. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep, and then you'll have a little force against that that strap that holds it.
So one will have the CW and the other one will have the phone?
Yeah.
So, and then what's the situation on the ones that are on the spider beams? What are those for?
Oh,
Those are, to use this pole to hold up one end of a dipole or rope or anything.
you guys decide.
If so, we gotta remember to tie that on there before we.
Yeah, or you just have to reverse the process, right?
Put your yellow rope on there too before you get it up there.
Yeah.
Okay, put it back together.
Yeah, let's put her back and get it ready for shipping. So first thing we'll do is lower the tower, take the safety off, Matt, put it in the box, and then lower the tower. And my recommendation is when you lower the tower, put the strap safety on the end of it and make sure it's snug. Because the last thing you want to do is have that off. Alright, so now let me show you this.
Yeah.
So guys, watch this now. As Matt lowers this, watch what happens.
You have to pull
Oh,
it.
nothing. Now what?
Gotta give it a start.
Yeah, so somebody go over there and pull on it a little bit.
Or what, we better just
Or,
stand here
or
and
stand
push.
upon the trailer and push it at the base. Whoever chooses to do what.
Probably the safest one is to
Probably. Watch your head as you walk under that bar there. Don't whack it. Just gently push it as Matt loosens it up, and once it gets a little, because right now it's kind of pointing back. Okay, Matt, loosen it up.
It's loosened already? Yeah.
All right, you're good. Come on down. And as anything, don't stand under it when you do stuff, just in case it starts to fall. Okay? Like Matt should stand back just a hair. Stand back just a little in case that thing comes down. It'll get you over there too. Just stand this way a little bit. There you go. Okay.
Good, good.
So we have actually three things to do now.
Is that one?
Yep.
Now?
So do one at a time. Put this this thing holding the center of the tower. Okay, you want to pull that out too. Take it. All right, and then hook it on the very end there, Matt, and just like that, and ratchet it with the big one. There you go. You don't have to go too crazy, just so it's nice and snug.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. And then this I usually leave it with the bolts pointing down in the screen, and it generally won't go anywhere. And you guys can bungee it or tie it or whatever floats your boat. All right, so double check. We're hooked up in the center. The ratchet strap is on, and we're good to go. Okay, and then this one, I think Matt did it already. Put a little bit of tension on it, and then we're good. Okay, now what do we do now?
Pull up the wings.
Yep, let's do one at a time. Okay, now let me just say, I think this is the one where the spring doesn't retract it. You can check by pulling the curly thing down. Let's see if it is. Okay, good.
Whoa.
Yep, that's one reason why you don't want to mess around with your fingers. Okay, good. And crank it all the way up till it stops, Ariel, and then secure that. Matt, let's put that on the peg.
Where do we store this?
What you got? Oh, that goes right in the bottom there, Dick. So let's see, what am I doing? So let's come around this way. And then we'll carefully pick up the Yagi if you can kind of slide it up on there.
One over here can go on there too.
Yeah, we will. We'll stick all of them on there.
I'm like a union guy, Dave.
Twist it, Dick, in the hole. It's kind of rusty. We should probably spray a little WD-40 or something on it.
I think I got it in there all right.
Yep. You'll know when you're all the way up, it'll stop. And then back it up a half a turn and secure it. Twist it in, Dick. It goes in easier.
Do you use Adobe Premiere?
I don't. I use the Apple
Final Cut
SCP
Pro.
Final Cut Pro 10.
Okay,
All right, that's it. There are no retainers.
spring tuner.
Yep, those little
Do you need a
things should be
license for
good.
that, Dave?
So now what do we do? No, we don't do that, do we? What do we do? You got tension on it, so
Leave it a little bit.
pull it one way or the other slightly, because there
Okay.
you go.
Now.
You know, slowly go till he clears. All right, now you're good. Dick almost had to buy a whole shear pin. And it goes right up on the thing all the way. Now there's two things you got to do. What is it? And then use the ratchet, Ariel. Don't pull on it. Just there you go.
What does this do to?
What do you think it goes on?
Well, it might be a-
Yeah, let's see.
I can see it from here.
Yeah, so this was depressed. All right, you just hold that out. And you will get it. Oh, sorry, you squeeze it. Yeah, okay, right? Where's that go, Dick?
I couldn't see it from over there.
I know it's rusty, it's in camo. Hook it from the bottom up.
Good enough.
All right, good. So, 2 things, 1, 2. We got all our things retained. We're good to go. Let's go do the next one.
Push on it, Luke.
Yeah, wear some gloves when you guys work on this, or you'll be missing a few layers of skin.
Does that retract if you push down on that loop thing?
Yeah, so you can push down on the loop, but stay clear of it. A little more, keep going. There you go, now you pull it out.
Save you from cranking forever, push down on that
Now
loop.
push
all the
down.
way up now?
It is. Now push down on the loop and watch your fingers. There we go. Okay, so now put your pin in. It's like playing with a gun, it could kill you.
Can you
Yeah.
get that?
So twist it as you put it in. It goes in.
Only up to this
Yep,
point?
yes sir.
You have to shout clear before you pull that.
Yeah. And then pull the handle out, and then it goes in there, and then twist that in as it goes. Just like that, you're all good. Okay, now the 2 things, what do you got to do?
Lift that.
Perfect, I'll get that next plate if you guys hold on.
I need some, move it one way or the other.
Come up this
There,
way.
there we go, we're off.
Okay, come on up. All right, 2 things.
Can we check the belt?
Yep, check the belt, snug. All right, good. Verify all the pins have their retainers on.
Yeah.
What else do we need to do?
Make sure that's on,
Yes,
make sure that's on.
yes.
Make sure, just go around specifically wherever there's a pin, make sure it's in place.
Is there anything to do with it? Right?
Nope, you're good.
Might be good to do a count of all of the safety straps and make a list of them, so before we move the trailer, we go
And you
through.
might bring a few bungees and hook up some of that stuff, because some of it's just sitting here. Okay? I think the bungees that were on it died.
What is that piece for right there?
The Aggie. Oh, this piece? You got a
Okay,
compressor in the
84
back.
meter dipole.
There's a lug wrench in here, and these are absolutely brand new tires.
Yeah,
But
they
if
look
you need to change them, the lug wrench is in here. There is no jack, so you'll need to get a floor jack or something.
Another dipole. Coax.
Now some of those dipoles, the center thing is just temporary, so.
So Dave, you don't think we'll need this block at all?
Yeah, I'd
Need
throw
to
it
keep
on.
it
Here.
nice and
Doesn't hurt
I'm gonna
anything.
go in the box.
Probably won't go in the box, but you can throw it here because you're going to need to make sure you tie all that junk down. I'll put some more Reds flags on.
Oh, let's do that again.
Pull toward you.
There's a slide on the left side, on your left. That's your right, there's your left.
Matt?
Underneath, it slides left and right. Now it's right in the front, Ariel, in that slot.
Matt, we're gonna put this block on it. I'd do it, but I got a bad knee. This block's gonna go on the trailer.
Slide that thing left or right under there. There you
He
go.
said he'd take it anyways.
Perfect. Okay, so this retainer here is spring loaded. Okay, this is what keeps this from sliding back. Okay, so you stick it in the hole, goes all the way to the bottom right here, and then this hook here hooks on the little nub down below, so it retains it in the hole, and that will make sure that your ball doesn't come disconnected. You see this one here, kind of low. So what you do, you take it and you twist it. That will shorten the length a little bit, because you don't want them dragging on the ground. And don't lose my cap. was you guys would be buying me a new lock. All right?
I distracted you. You were talking about finding that safety strap that he talked about.
Yeah, I put it in my pocket, I think. Or put it in the car. Or put it in something.
And where does that go?
It just connects the trailer to the ground on the truck. When you first do it,
No, I
the
mean
rust
specifically,
doesn't
where do
like
you
it,
clip it?
but after you run it for a mile or two, it makes good contact.
All right, so where is the best place to clip it?
Wherever it's good ground and the trailer lights light up. I don't know, find a spot, anywhere that's good. You might here maybe, to the chassis down here, or to something. You guys are electrical guys.